So, how do leaders and employees make it feel safe and make it more normal? Now, you're a psychologist, leaders and managers are not, and their incentives typically skew more toward workforce productivity versus workforce well being, which is something that you've discussed. So, how does a prioritization of mental health and the conversation around mental health happen in a positive way inside the corporation?
That is the $1 million question. Here are my thoughts about it. I think there's shared accountability and it has to be addressed at several levels. So organizations need to have infrastructure that is going to create healthy conditions for people to succeed. And most specifically, looking at demand capacity and resource and making sure that people aren't overworked. Managers have the responsibility to do their best to create the conditions for the employees to thrive. And then employees have the responsibility to manage their own mental health. So managers do not need to be therapists. They do not need to have all the answers. So I think the power of the idea of accompaniment is really important. And accompaniment basically is this idea that we walk alongside with each other on the journey and we partner and support people in a way that they feel valued and that they matter and that they're cared for. And we don't have to have the answers.
Mm. How does this manifest in your work, and where does it take flight, and where do you meet a lot of resistance still?
So I think it's all about humanizing the workplace. Where I meet resistance is managers will sometimes look to leadership and say they're putting too many demands on us. Employees will look to management. And so there's sort of a deflection of accountability. And where I face resistance is I think a lot of organizations are saying the right things and they're saying they're committed. I also hear questions of, well, what's the one thing that we can do to help employee mental health? And it's the wrong question because there isn't one thing. It's going to require organic bottom-up change and it's going to require top-down change. And organizations need to commit to spending the money and the time and the investment and to make it a strategic priority or it won't happen.